Today, for our topic, we'll be talking about when bewitchment backfires. Now, we're going to be looking at the types of spell that someone can bewitch your spouse or your significant other with. Number one, it says types of spell. Number one, binding a man or a woman through the cemetery. And how is this done? This is done when someone goes to the graveyard and they do stuff and they bind the man or the woman to the cemetery. This is a dangerous spell because when they have finished the program, they have programmed their person that they have an interest in with specific behavior. And the person's personality will definitely change. And this is a dangerous spell, the cemetery. When they go to the cemetery and they bury stuff with the cemetery and they say whatever they say, and that person's personality will change. If it's a man, his personality is going to change. If he's already in a relationship with you, his personality is going to change. But if he's in a relationship with another woman, well, his personality is going to change. Number two, sexual attachment that leads the victim to become obsessed. The next type of spell is through sex. When the person has sex to lure that person, and whoever the spellcaster is, when they have sex with the man or the woman, that man or woman will become so obsessed that even if they're married, they're not going to want their partner anymore, because what? The sex is going to be like 10, and then they're going to go with their partner is going to be like a 1. So you're comparing a 1 to a 10. Well, that marriage is over. The next one we're going to be talking about is number 3. Number 3 is the feelings for the man or the woman is suppressed. They hate whomever they're in a relationship with. All attention is focused on the spellcaster. So now this spell is when they suppress their feelings. If you're married, if you're a man and you're married to a woman, and they suppress your feelings for your wife. So now you're not going to have feelings for your wife. You're not going to want to be around your wife. Likewise, if it's a woman, this is happening to her feelings for her husband is going to be suppressed. She's going to hate the husband. She's not going to want to be around the husband. All her attention will be for the other man. Likewise, if it's a man, all his attention is going to be to whoever is doing that spell. Number 4, complete submission. Complete submission is that person becomes completely surrendered to the spellcaster. Like nothing in his life or her life will matter. All will matter is the spellcaster, making the spellcaster happy. So if it's a marriage, that marriage is over because all that man or all that woman is going to want to do is make the person that did the spell happy. Now we're going to be talking about what happens when it backfires, and it can backfire, but how will it backfire? I'm going to tell you now. So the spell can backfire. I'm going to share my own personal story, and this is how it happened. My ex-husband was working. I had suspected that he was in a relationship with someone. I didn't really know who it was because he was just lying, was back and forth, back and forth. Finally, the Holy Spirit revealed to me that he was having a relationship with his co-worker. Nevertheless, I confronted him. He started to lie, confronted her. They started to lie in agreement. But nevertheless, when I started to call her and I was behaving out of character, but what happened when I realized that, something is not right with this man. His behavior, like I said, it's strange, because that's the first thing. The behavior got strange, and as soon as he left my apartment, he would go to the lady's apartment, and when I will call him, or when I will call her, I will hear him in the background. So I realized that it was just not just an affair. It was deeper than that. And I realized that something. So I went and I told my pastor, and she said, the lady had, she did stuff. So what we got to do, we started to pray. And when we started to pray, was the first thing that happened. We started to pray because I was just, it was cheating. And, so when we started to pray, I started to pray. My pastor started to pray. What happened? The first thing was that he lost his job. He lost his job. So because the woman was getting all of his money, she was not getting some of his money. She was getting all of his money. I remember one time I found the receipt. He spent almost $100 on fish, and I was eating chicken so much that I got tired of eating. And so she was getting all his money, she was getting all his attention, and she had a baby. It wasn't his baby, but he was, so all of the money, when I said all of the money, the woman was getting. Nevertheless, when I told my pastor, we started to pray. We started to pray, and the first thing happened was that he lost his job. When he lost the job, the money cut, because when after I took it to the pastor, God revealed to me that the lady didn't really like him. She just wanted the money. So all the stuff she was doing was for the money. So everything she was basically doing was for the money. It was not that she loved him, she liked him, or she cared about him. This is what God revealed to me. It was about the money. So what God did, he cut the source of the money. So number one, he lost the job. When he lost the job, they couldn't go to work together anymore. And he took a while to find not a job. So when he lost the job, he didn't have money. It took him time. So by the time they lost another job, she couldn't hold on no more, because remember, it was because of the money that she was holding, and God took the source of her money. So what happened? The relationship ended. Well, I think it went on, but it couldn't sustain, because why? He wasn't getting any money. So he couldn't hold on, and she wasn't going to hold on to someone that all she was loving him and all these things, and it was because of money. So when God took the money, so did the relationship end. But I just wanted to say, when he would leave my apartment, he would always go to her apartment. So true, God revealed to me that she had buried stuff under a tree, right? And I said to my ex-husband, that lady buried you on stuff for you underneath a tree. My ex-husband said to me that was a lie. Well, I had known the lady's address, and I said to someone, you know what? I want to go see where this lady live. Let me tell you, when we went to the lady's apartment, because I knew the address, there was a tree right in front of her building. It was a big tree. And I said to my ex-husband, I said, she buried you in front of her place was a tree. And he said, no, there was nothing like that. But with my own eyes, I'm telling someone today, I saw that stuff when we drove to her apartment building. There was a tree, because God had revealed to me that she buried him. That's why when he left me, he would always go there. He was always there, because she did stuff. She did the burial. So he would always come to her apartment. But what did God do? God, by firing him, the source of the money was stopped, and she would just wanted the money. She didn't want him. She didn't want anything else. So it took a while, but God ended that relationship. But it took a while. It took roughly about a year, but the relationship was ended, because after he didn't have money, all of our loving and all those things disappeared, and God break the spell. But nevertheless, that is not necessarily backfiring, but the spell could backfire. And how could a spell backfire? The spell could backfire when the person that did it, what will happen is that instead of the man hating his husband, or instead of the wife hating her husband, the spell could backfire in as the whoever cast the spell, the man turn around and hate them. Whatever he was supposed to feel for his spouse is going to turn back around on them. And it depends on if that person is a Christian, and if that person enlists the help of her pastor, enlists the help of other family members, and enlists all people to praying for that spouse. The spell could backfire, and it could even cause the spell caster to lose their life. So it does backfire. With me, I wouldn't say it backfired. What she planned, she didn't get, because she just wanted his money. What God did was, the first thing that God did was cut the source of his money, and that was his job. He lost the job. When he lost the job, she was trying to hold on, but she couldn't hold on, because she wasn't getting what she wanted, and that was the money. But it can backfire, especially if you're saved and you started to pray. It can backfire. everything that they wanted to happen to you will happen to them, and it depends on the level of your prayer. It can even result in death. So we have to be mindful with bewitching, because it can backfire and it can cause serious hurt, or it can even cause your life.